So if you remember from chapter 1, our goal here is to transform this patch of sod into a low maintenance, high yielding, no-till food garden. Nature builds fertility by constantly laying down layers of mulch. So in this system what we're doing is fast tracking that process. So we will do this by promoting the processes that nature uses to build soil and develop fertility. Okay, we'll get in here and do the weeding now. There we go. It's best to get these when they're little. It's way easier. See, that got hit frost damage pretty bad. Looks like the other squash in this hill got set back but made it through. I think we're good on weeding here. We want to get some of this stuff that's poking up through the mulch. Keep that back. Get this one out of there. There you go. Now that's 85 to 90% of the weeding all year. So this spring we laid out these hills, which are a combination of soil and mulch, in an offset 5-foot by 5-foot grid. So over time we want to get these mulch circles to be an essentially weed-free patch of dank, friable, rich loam. After the soil organisms have converted this mulch to soil, we'll have like mega more planting area, like more than 4 times more. And we want to convert the area between the hills to a low-growing, nitrogen-fixing legume. So if you remember, last chapter we scratched in some clover seed, and it seems to be sprouting nicely. We got little patches of clover coming up all over the garden. Sprinkle in a little bit of clover seed. One really nice thing about clover is that it really attracts the pollinators. And if you provide a platform for the pollinators, that strengthens the whole networks of life. In developing soil fertility, a key parameter is the carbon-nitrogen ratio. And we'll get way more into that in upcoming chapters. I use battery-powered electric weed whack on the garden here. I like it. I can get right up to the beds without damaging the crop plants, and I can nip the grass off and stay above the clover. Okay, so here's one of our hills that still needs prepping. We'll remove the protective mulch. I'm so blessed to be here, able to garden here in northern Michigan, of this nice mature barnyard compost. And then kind of work that in. So now this compost, it's actually delivering a lot of things. It's very rich in plant nutrients. But more importantly, what we're doing here is we're seeding the garden with all these bazillions of different soil microorganisms. And that's to really stimulate the biological activity going on here in our garden microecosystem. We'll start with the corn. Is often referred to, we're kind of doing a variation off of what's called the Three Sisters, which was a permaculture interplanting that was used by indigenous people across most of North America for a very long time. How the Three Sisters work is that the corn stalks grow and they become the trellises for the peas, the beans, or in this case the peas, and then the squash grows out around them. So, alright, seeds are in. There we go. And then we'll come back and drop in some greens. A mix of cole family plants, kale, cabbage, tostroys, a whole mix. And I started them in a flat here couple weeks ago, so now we'll drop these in here, pack the roots kind of nice, get that weed out of there, and give it a good drink of water. So we got a little bit of frost damage here. Gardening and farming is always a challenge. Almost anything can happen. The crows could eat the corn, we could get a killer July frost, anti-garden zombies could trample through here at midnight. I'm not too worried about that because I heard that a 3D 3-wire electric deer fence also works for zombies. But whatever happens in a garden, if you provide an environment that promotes dynamic soil activity, that's life's foundational metabolic activity, fecundity will emerge. And that, for an organism on Earth, is prosperity. I would call that good, healthy growth. Gardening provides healthy physical productive activity, exercise, better nutrition, and can stimulate optimistic mental states. Gardening increases your awareness of the natural world, the ever-changing weather, the flow of the seasons, all while eating better, saving money, reducing your carbon footprint, and sequestering carbon. Gardening generates positive personal, economic, social, and environmental ripples. Gardening yields an increased resiliency, all while having fun and learning. Mind and body engaged, Gaia integrating.